length of a rectangle exceeds its width by 6 centimeters. If the area of the rectangle is 160 centimeters squared, find the length and width. Firstly, I would recommend you actually drawing out this. So even with any area, question, or problem, draw out the shape. It's easy, and it's not easy, but it helps you with actually visualizing all of this. So it says that the length, so length, width of the rectangle exceeds its width by 6 centimeters. So exceeds just mean like it's more than, really. So it's more than 6 centimeters than its width, but we don't know what the width is. So we're going to call the width x. And its length is 6 centimeters more than its width. So adding. So we're just going to write x plus 6. And please do not forget your unit, centimeters. And we know that the area of this is 160 centimeters squared because they tell us in the question we have to find the length and we have to find the width. So firstly, what is the formula to find out the area of a rectangle? Well, it's simply length by width. So we're going to put that out. So what is our length? Our length is x plus 6. So x plus 6, and then we're going to multiply that by the width, which is x, is all equal to 160. Now, I'm just going to change this because this looks quite odd. So usually the number itself is at the front of the bracket, and that's kind of how it always is. So x plus 6 is equal to 160, and now we just simply solve for x. So x multiplied by x gives us x squared, x multiplied by 6 gives us plus 6 is all equal to 160. So I'm going to bring this 160 to the other side so I can properly make it a quadratic. So x squared plus 6 minus 160 is all equal to 0. Now we have to do quadratics. So we'll pull up the two brackets and split up the x squared into x and x, and our signs don't really tell us much because there's a plus and a minus, so we know that within there it could be a plus and a minus, or it could be a minus and a plus. So two numbers that multiplied will give us 160, and when added or subtracted will give us 6. Now, usually with these type of bigger numbers, like 160, it's pretty big. And then thinking of 6, usually the multiplication, and I'll give you a hint, is by 10. So then x plus 16 and x minus 10 would give us this quadratic. We can verify that by using the smiley method. So 16 multiplied by x gives us plus 16x, and then x multiplied by minus 10 gives us minus 10x, so that gives us 6x, and which is our middle number. So then we can split this up and solve for x. So x plus 16 gives us 0, so then x is equal to minus 16. And then x minus 10 is equal to 0, and that'll give us x is equal to 10. And we have to solve for x, but there are two x's. Now, as we look at both of the numbers, minus 16 and 10, we are dealing with the measurements here. We're dealing with centimeters. So we can never have a measurement that's a minus. So this is invalid. So our answer would be x is equal to 10. But we're not done there. We have to actually solve what is the length and the width. So the length and the width, it says that the length is x plus 6, so x plus 6, which would just essentially mean 10 plus 6, which is 16 centimeters. So the length is 16 centimeters, and the width is x, and x is 10. So the width would just be 10 centimeters, and that is your answer. Now for the next question, they're telling us to solve the width. So in this diagram, they're telling us that the area of this rectangle is 6x squared minus x minus 12, and the width and the length is 3x plus 4, and we don't know what the width is. So what would we do? Well, in this question, we were told that we knew what the length and width was, but we just have to solve exactly what the variables were and so on and so forth. But here we are missing a variable. So what would we do? Well, we know that length by width gives us the area. But if we have the area and we have one of these, for example, we have we have the length in this case. So we know we have the length. How do we get the width? Well, you would have to divide. So these two opposites correspond each other. So we would have to take the area and divide it by the length. So algebraic division. Now, so 3x plus 4 and dividing that into 6x squared minus x minus 12. Now we can solve for this. By remembering that this is to multiply, no, this is to divide and this is to multiply, we can then solve. So this is dividing, this is multiplying. So 6x squared divided into 3x, so we can visualize that out. Because remember, x squared just essentially means that x by x. So 6xx divided by 3x gives us, 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. So that gives us 2x. So 2x at the top, and now we have to multiply. We have to multiply this by these two terms. So 2x multiplied by 3x gives us 6x squared. If these two terms are the exact same, you know you're going right. Then 2x multiplied by 4 gives us plus 8x. Now, before we solve for it, we need to change the signs. So by taking another colored pen, you're going to change both of the sides of the bottom. So, and then this would become into a minus. Now, this cancels off, you know you're doing right. And then the minus x minus 8x would give us minus 9x. And now we bring down this minus 12 and we go again. So minus 9x divided into 3x gives us minus 3. Now, if you want to visualize this out again, you can. Minus 9x divided by 3x, the x cancels out, minus 9 divided by 3, that gives us minus 3. So minus 3 multiplied by 3x gives us minus 9x, perfect. And then 3x multiplied by 4 gives us minus 12x. Now would you look at that? That is the exact same, so we know we're going right, but you can't just leave it like this. You need to change its sign. You need to change its sign, and you need to clarify that it is 0. Because remember, with algebraic division, with algebraic division, there are no remainders. So if there is a remainder, you've gone wrong. If there isn't a remainder, you've gone right. Simple as. So this answer, right at the top, 2x plus 3, that is the width, but you need to clarify it. So width is equal to 2x minus 3. And that is that. Thank you for watching.